Okay, so I call this effect, it's kind of a nostalgic cinematic effect using TV. So I often do presentations using data or just images on videos or film from the past. So I use this kind of effect where I put it inside a TV for its kind of nostalgic feel. So for example, I have home movies like this, but the video recording of this was at 480. And so it's kind of small. If I stretch it out to make it big, the quality goes down. So I could show it at this size, for example, within a theater screen or a TV screen, something like that. Or for example, in a marketing presentation, let's say we're looking at some Marcom stuff, some TV commercials from the past. And they're very small. The quality is not good because they're about 480p, but I can stick it inside an old TV like this just to give it that kind of nostalgic feel. So let me show you another example, and then I'll show you how I did this just in Keynote. And you could do it in PowerPoint or Canva or something else as well. So we start here with a TV. We turn the TV on, and then the text can come in. So it's a question talking about TV viewership in the past, in the 60s and in the 50s. So how many U.S. households had a TV? What percentage? And let's start with 1946. And then the answer is less than 1%. So again, we're engaging with the audience. And how about 1954? It was up to 56%. And then we can go in and talk about the various kinds of TV shows. They were recorded live and all this kind of thing. Or they were broadcast live. And then we go back with more data. Okay, how about 1961? It's up to 90% and over 90% in the 60s. And then we can bring in another image, which also has a video inside of it. And then I can bring up this data of 650 million people watched the moon landing worldwide live at that time. Okay, so that's just an example. Then we turn off the TV. So how did I do that? Okay, so where you want to look is right up here in the object list, which just gives us our layers. So you can see the layers here. So the first layer, we'll just go through. The first layer was just this image here. So that's it. And then on our second layer, we go to this video of some TV static, analog TV static. And it doesn't have an alpha channel. It's actually, I just turned the opacity down. So there's no real special effect there. Just turn the opacity down on that because I want to have that kind of effect. But obviously this is not going to work. We could resize it up, but it wouldn't fit really well in there. So here's what we can do. The next layer then has my text, right? But the text, you'd see the text coming in. So we want it to actually look like it was inside, the broadcast itself. So then the other layer is the same image, but with the screen taken out of it. Okay, so we have this layer over that. So we don't see we don't see this video, and also the text will be hidden when it comes in. Okay, so you see we have the bottom image, then the TV static, then the text, and then we put the image on again, but there's a hole in it where the screen is. And then the next image is, we want the original photo, so we just can take this photo, boom, put it back on top. But what we did is turn the opacity down. So it's just the original photo, but we removed the opacity, or we put the opacity down a little bit. That's all the way down, just so that we keep that glare. I kind of want that glare there. And then the last thing is I put a video over that, which does have an alpha channel, and it's like a 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter film over that. So it's like a movie camera, taking a film of a TV. And so then we get something like this. It's just these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. We begin with just the image. That's the original image. Then we put our video on there and then turn the opacity down a little bit to make it transparent. Then we can put our text on top, which has an animation so that that text will be coming in, but we'd be able to see it here. So that's why we put another image on top, but we took out the screen. Then we put that original image back, remember, like that. Put it on top, but we turn the opacity down just to still get a little bit of that glare. And then we put an 8 millimeter sort of filmic effect on top of that. Voila.